Once upon a time, there lived a damsel. She was the fairest in the land. Her beauty was celebrated far and wide. And she was as modest as she was chaste. But she was held captive in a high tower, and there she awaited rescue by a handsome knight.
Helpless, threatened, forever in need of rescue, the medieval damsel is our archetype of the passive female.
Well, some damsels certainly got trapped in tall towers. In 1217, Nicolas de la Haye must have looked out from the top of this castle and hoped for rescue. But it wasn't quite like the fairy tale. The castle was under siege by French troops. Nicolas must have been in the thick of it. The French army was down in the square down there with their catapults and crossbows just outside the pub, and Nicolas would have been dodging lumps of stone like this. Nicolas was admittedly a bit mature for a damsel. She was pushing 70, but she could still do with a knight in shining armour. And she got one. It was another old-age pensioner. The knight in shining armour was William Marshal, well into his 70s, but the epitome of chivalry and regent of England, a sort of stand-in for the young king. Together, these two OAPs defeated the foreign invaders, saved Lincoln, and in the process saved England for Henry III. William, ever the perfect chivalric knight, celebrated their joint victory by taking Nicola's castle away from her and giving it to the Earl of Salisbury. However, Nicola wasn't going to stand for behaviour like that from a geriatric like William. She stormed off down to London, had the castle restored to her control, and kept going as constable until well into her 80s. In the Middle Ages, women like Nicola were not expected to be helpless or shy. We have had a fake version of the Middle Ages erected for us, quite literally, and we may easily mistake it for the real thing. This is Castle Coch in South Wales, and it really is a load of old cork. It may look like the archetypal medieval castle, but it isn't. Castle Coch was built by a wealthy Victorian nobleman in the 1870s. And it's as fake as our stereotype of the damsel in distress. The Victorians saw the Middle Ages as a time of pre-industrial innocence and heroism. They created an image of medieval womanhood that reflected their own ideals, an image that has lasted through to today. However, the reality was very different. Women's role in society changed throughout the Middle Ages, and as society became more sophisticated, so women became more empowered.